The debate last night was a trap for Trump. ABC News, a supposedly neutral network, destroyed its credibility as a media outlet in 90 short minutes. Moderators David Muir and Lindsay Davis shamelessly catered to Kamala Harris and targeted Trump. They fact-checked him at least 5 times while they left Harris's lies alone. Lindsay Davis asked Trump why voters should trust him on abortion. So Trump responded, albeit haphazardly, by pointing to Democrats' extremism.
Because under Roe v.
Answer the
Wade,
question with your veto.
you could do abortions in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th month,
not true.
and probably after birth. Just look at the former governor of Virginia. The governor of Virginia said, we put the baby aside and then we determine what we want to do with the baby.
But then Davis interjects.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
The moderators allowed no nuance, even though in Minnesota and other states, a baby that survives a botched abortion can be left to die rather than given medical attention. There are at least 6 states that have no restrictions on abortion at all. Most of the moderators' questions went something like this. Trump, why are you racist? Trump is forced to defend himself against an ad hominem, a loaded question. Now, Kamala, why is Trump racist? Before we get into the meat of this debate, if you enjoy what we do here at National Review, give this video a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to our channel for future content. Oh, and ring that bell to receive notifications every time we post. When Trump started hitting good points against Harris, the moderators, of course, cut him off.
I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation
We do have a lot
that went nowhere.
We have a lot to.
Maybe Trump should have seen this coming. Biased moderators are nothing new. Maybe Republican candidates are forever doomed to this kind of treatment at debates. And the Harris campaign knows this. She refused a debate hosted by Fox News. The 2 teams settled finally on terms that would prohibit a live audience and hot mics, which is Donald Trump's favorite tool. But you don't win by complaining about the referees. You still have to score more points against your opponent. At some point, it does look like cope to call out the moderators too much. And Trump missed many opportunities to hit home runs. He waited way too long to hit Harris on the fact that she failed her assignment as border czar. We've been talking about this for weeks. It shows her managerial incompetence and her indifference to the country being overrun by illegal immigrants.
They allowed criminals, many millions of criminals. They allowed terrorists. They allowed common street criminals. They allowed people to come in, drug dealers, to come into our country. They're destroying the fabric of our country by what they've done.
To be sure, Harris showed meticulous preparation and rehearsal. I mean, she literally practiced in a hotel room with a method actor, like a dummy, dressed up as Trump. Cue Shane Gillis.
Joe, you're an idiot. Please stop.
Almost every answer from Harris was perfectly polished because it was scripted. But frankly, it was a little much. She came off as inauthentic the whole time. After a rocky start, Kamala regained her footing and came off strong. But I will say, all the memorable lines were from Trump.
In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute. I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? She doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan, and it's like 4 sentences, like run, spot, run.
If nothing else, Trump wins on wit. His jokes are funny and disarming to someone who is really structured, like Kamala Harris. Taking Hillary Clinton's advice, Kamala did exactly what she needed to do to get under Trump's skin. He officially lost his cool when she insulted his rallies, claiming the people who attend them leave early.
You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer. And what you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom.
Trump took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. Instead of hammering Harris on her failure as the border czar, he litigated his crowd size and retention.
On the border.
First, let me respond as to the
Please.
rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go, she's bussing them in and paying them to be there and then showing them in a different light. So she can't talk about that. People don't leave my rallies. We have the biggest rallies, the most incredible rallies.
Someone with a less fragile ego wouldn't get rattled so easily. But Harris's comment came 2 months after Trump was nearly assassinated at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. He has said repeatedly that everyone at the rally stayed put and were very courageous amid certain danger. So this was personal to him, obviously. He eventually meandered back to immigration, which was the question, but he went to a very online, contentious topic that lacks evidence.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Like clockwork, here comes David's fact check.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
David then argues back and forth with Trump about the merits of this theory, which has been supported mainly by TV testimonies from locals. That is not your job, David. You are not in this debate. After David asked whether Trump plans to follow through with his largest domestic deportation operation in history, Trump cited rising migrant crime, which has affected many communities across the United States.
Crime here is up and through the roof. Despite their fraudulent statements that they made, crime in this country is through the roof. And we have a new form of crime. It's called migrant crime.
Once again, cue David, Trump's other opponent.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country.
This was 3 against 1. No question. Harris didn't get fact-checked, as she blatantly denied that she's flip-flopped all her radical policies since 2020.
Policy,
She
please.
has a plan to defund the police. She has a plan to confiscate everybody's gun.
President Trump,
she
we
has
do
a
have to
plan
move on to
not
other
allow
issues.
fracking in Pennsylvania or anywhere else.
Okay.
That's what her plan is until just recently.
She pushed the many times debunked Charlottesville rally story and Trump's comments about a bloodbath, which he obviously meant referring to Harris's policies and how they would tank the auto industry in this country. Not a peep from the moderators. She denied that she told her followers to bail out rioters and violent criminals in the Summer of Love's social justice tour in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 2020. By the way, that tweet is still live. She hasn't deleted it yet. She repeated that she loves fracking now. That's totally not a ploy to win the Midwest. While Kamala, was more elevated than she usually is, a little bit less word salad, she was obviously trying to pander to TikTokers and young constituents by what looked like posing for meme faces. Between his roundabout rambles, Trump clarified that he does not endorse Project 2025. He does in fact support IVF, and that's been twisted into a non-narrative by the media. And he gave us the reality of whether a national abortion ban could even make it into Congress, let alone pass over his resolute desk. While these were kind of the opposite of wins for the nation's social conservatives, Trump has definitely alienated a number of them in recent days. He set the record straight, and this helped to seat Kamala firmly on her throne of lies.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Trump didn't seem prepared through the whole debate until the closing statement, when he said what we've all been thinking, which is that Kamala is a fraud who has the power right now as an extension of the Biden administration to fix the border, the economy, crime, and more. But she won't.
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it and you won't do it.
Amid all these smokescreens and phoniness, Republicans need to stay on message. They need to consistently and repeatedly show that Kamala Harris would be far more extreme than Joe Biden. And to know why, watch this video next.